Hi, everybody. It's me again. And I'm here today with Jill and Shannon. And I wanted to give you a chance to meet them before we get together next October 11th and October 13th for a workshop and a mini retreat. So let's jump right in. Shannon and Jill, would you mind introducing yourselves and telling us a little bit about the books that you've published and the work that you're doing right now? Anything that feels like excited to share.
Okay, Jill, you start.
Okay, I'll start. I'm Jill Jordan. I'm a certified sound therapist, author and speaker, and I'm producing with Shannon a documentary about our movement for peace. And that's what our work has been together for the last, since 2017. And we began the movement for peace, Awakening the Magdalene, to bring forth that divine feminine energy in our world and to awaken people to a nurturing, loving, feminine energy, and where we're speaking our truth and we're standing up for what's right and loving one another. And we feel like the more people that are involved in living that kind of a life, then we will have peace in the world. And, we've gotten thousands of people to follow us and contribute to the movement, and we're excited to keep growing it. So we just want to keep letting people know these links between all of the stuff that we do.
And my background is I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I studied hypnosis in the 80s and was led through Synchronicities. The Synchronicities of the master numbers, 444, 1111, and I followed the thread. And it took me to be trained by Brian Weiss, the author of Many Lives, Many Masters in Omega, New York, in 1996. So the first professional past life regression I did was a woman who had the past life memory of being Mary Magdalene, which I began to scratch my head about when a lot of other women began to show up with similar memories. So what my book, The Magdalene Awakening, was about was following the archetypal energy that is even reverberating louder today. It was a quiet reverberation in the 90s, and it's just grown and grown, culminating with the moment when Dan Brown produced the Da Vinci Code. It kind of brought it into a crescendo. And now it's women of your age, younger women who are being called by Magdalene. And so that's what we want to introduce you to. The Magdalene that is my guiding initiator of my spiritual path. She brought Jill and I together, and we're going to talk about that in our workshop. And we've been brought together because of the frequency of love, which Magdalene is about the heart energy. And when we started this journey, we didn't fully understand what it was about, because that's our goal. We follow the synchronicities. We're learning more and more every day. You were brought into our life through synchronicity, and everybody that's going to be there with us, we know are part of Soul Family. We're excited to meet you and your friends, and to do this little mini tour that's going to take us all the way to interview Freddie Silva, which we're very excited about.
That's amazing. And I love what you said about the feminine approach of opening and allowing. That's the language we use. And what a difference from the masculine paradigm of like hustle and make it work and force and force and force, versus relaxing and leading from our hearts and inviting in the right people to be there who are ready to receive this love, and just trusting her, trusting the divine feminine, trusting the universe. And what a difference it makes.
Yes.
So thank you so much for naming
it. Life changing.
We're warriors. We just carry a sword of light.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. So I've never done a past life regression, and I am super excited about it. Can you tell me what's involved? What should I expect? What did you mean by conscious dreaming?
Well, when I was trained by Brian Weiss, I thought it was a really good way of defining it. If anybody studies his work or has done a regression with him, which is almost impossible to get an appointment with him at this point, you recognize that what the experience isn't like going away somewhere and having this out of the body experience. It's more like turning off the screen of your conscious mind and turning on the screen of your subconscious mind, one that everybody's really familiar with. It's the place where we have our imaginings, where we have our visions and our dreams. So it's just getting into a relaxed state and allowing our subconscious mind to present us with material and trusting that the material is from you and for you, not analyzing it, just going with what's presented. And then after it's done, we can begin to look at it and see, because often, I mean, people have experience where it's literal past life experiences that you could document. You know, I have clients who've been able to go in and find the person that they remembered being, but often it's a metaphor for what's going on in your life. In any case, as Brian Weiss says, it's a healing tool. And I do, with my conscious dreaming, we do some integration and healing from the part or the aspect of yourself that you remember during this experience from your subconscious mind, comes to help you do healing, that because we do bring issues from other lives. And it's a way of doing it but an easy way of healing, instead of having to do our real hard work. Sometimes it's not so easy to do our hard work here, but if we step off and see it from afar, it gives us a different perspective. And so that's the healing tool of the past life regression. And combining that with the crystal bowls, which is a visceral experience, you feel that in your chakras, and it's an experience of opening up and creating this experience of the opening of the chakras. And the goal that we're all seeking is that connection to God as we understand God, which changes everything.
Yeah, and connection to higher self, which
Right.
is God's self, right? The version
God,
of
Goddess.
directly connected to the divine, through which the divine is able to speak to us and access our human consciousness. Yeah, I mean, I know I crave that connection, and all of my work, you know, all of my efforts to fulfill my holy purpose and sacred cause for being here on this lifetime are to do just what you said, to reconnect.
Yes.
So
Right.
I'm thrilled. I'm so thrilled that we're going to be doing this together. And Jill, could you tell us a little bit about a frequency of love and sound healing and how you ended up with this modality?
Shannon just handed me this. This is on my desk.
Oh my goodness.
This is actually the frequency of I love you.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see it, but
Yeah.
I actually had it imprinted into my logo now. But just briefly, I guess, I became a sound therapist because of my own sensitivity to sound and a heightened sense of hearing that I've had, and had a lot of anxiety around having too much hearing, like hearing more than the average person. And it caused me a lot of anxiety and stress throughout my life. But then when I found the crystal bowls, I had an experience that gave me complete bliss and peace and comfort in and out of my body. And I was transcending different realms during this experience. And when it was over, I just looked at this woman and her bowls, and I was like, has to be my job. You know, I've got to figure this out. And I started just to like get one bowl for myself, and then my collection just grew, and people, you know, it started with friends coming over and having group sessions, and then doing it elsewhere. But there was these spontaneous healings. People were changing. And when you add intention and sound and the harmonics of the bowls and the crystal, which, you know, is a very organized principle and holds information, and in a relaxed state in the body, things just magically change and heal. And I mean, people that never even knew what they were getting into, and their friend dragged them to the session, and suddenly they were like in tears at the end because they had a pain in their shoulder for as long as they can remember, and it moved through the arm and out the finger and it was gone. And I couldn't explain why this is happening, you know. So I started doing more research, and then I got my certification and started to really try to wrap my head around this. And it is about us all being frequency, and we are all energy. And, you know, there is no time and there is no space. It's all energy, and we're all connected. And I mean, there's a lot more that you know, that I can teach about the understanding of what we've learned. And every year, so much more becomes available to us. And now we're understanding that there's the frequencies of the earth, and how the sounds of the planet, and how she's helping us, and how we can help our planet, and how we can help each other. It just continues to grow. And it's the same line, you know, it's the frequency of of the universe, and that's how Magdalene comes through to us as well.
Right.
So it's all interweaves into, through our DNA, through our breath, and through our very existence.
Yeah.
There's a phrase
It's
in the
so
New
beautiful, isn't
Testament
it? And
that
so powerful when we decide that the truth is such, the truth is so, and all of a sudden the world around us shows up in ways that reinforce that knowing.
Yeah.
And that, for my like over analytical, like public policy, empirically based evidence, like for that is really a nurture and a balm for
the
me.
more you let go and trust, the more the synchronicities begin to flow. And the more you open up the chakras to that higher wisdom, then the synchronicities flow, and you can kind of just relax a little bit, at least, as we go through this.
And there's so much now that we're able to share through quantum physics and this geobiologist that studies the sounds of the planet, and Lynn McTaggart, who, I don't know if you've read any of her books, but hers is all about intention, the science of intention, and then the stuff that Freddie Silva offers. So it's becoming a merge of spirituality and science. They're not disconnected. They are so connected. And, luckily we live in this exciting age where there is evidence showing us these connections. And it does, it makes us, when we've lived in our mind so much, to drop down into our heart and be okay with that once our mind kind of gets its little fix of, okay, yeah, this makes sense. But when we can just drop into that living from the heart and leading from the heart, and then use the mind to make decisions based on the heart, that's when we really start to see these things change.
And it's just amazing to have these best-selling authors like Lynn McTaggart, who wrote The Power of Eight, and many other, and Freddie, he wrote a recent book on the Templars. And there's an important tie between the Knights Templars, Mary Magdalene, and the frequency of the bloodline, really. So it's an interesting story.
Yeah. And we'll be sharing all of that, because we just did all this research and went to Europe and to all these sacred sites. We interviewed all of these authors to support our what we want to teach people, that our energy and our intention and surrendering creates our reality. And we can do it and create what we want.
And we've heard that said in so many ways, but I think sometimes we have to hear it over and over again to understand fully how powerful our intentions and thoughts are.
That's right. And when we have the experience ourselves, then it's a whole different ballgame. And that's what you're coming here to help us do. And what a blessing. What a total blessing. My last question, what's the role for us now in 2019, almost 2020, and bringing the feminine forth? Because there's been such a huge shift. It's palpable even in Montclair, New Jersey. And what is our role as women on the path? What can we do, and what are we doing in your view?
That's important. Certainly women who are raising sons and daughters, to raise them in a way of the heart, in a balance between the heart and the head, a different paradigm of teaching love. And that's one of the things for sure you can do. I know that I did a lot of my writing was done when I was raising kids. I was your age. So it's not easy to be on a spiritual path and be really excited about it, but still try to juggle family and work. It's a really challenging time in life, but it can be done. I can guarantee you, because both Jill and I have done it. And as well as, like, we're from your future, and we can assure you that you're going to make it. And I was so super happy to have mentors our age now, or, Jill's younger than I am, but that helped me get through the challenging times that, raising kids in today's society. Actually, the best thing to do is to integrate it into yourself, because the word discipline comes from the word disciple. So they're going to be what you are.
And they're going to, that's exactly right. Take those moments and help to teach them and listen to what they're feeling, and just validate it, and with love.
And support each other. I think one of the most powerful things when I was raising kids was having a support group of women who we would just pass a talking stick. We'd sit together in a circle. We called it a process group, and every week we'd meet, and we would just have a place where we could let it out in a place where we weren't judged. Nobody gave advice, and it was extremely helpful for me, trying to juggle all those roles that you have when you're 30 and you're raising kids and working.
That's right.
Most women are these days. It's, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about the Movement for Peace and the documentary you're working on?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Or,
A big one.
either or.
It is. Well, the bottom line is we want to teach people about synchronicity and frequency and the divine feminine and intention and how we see it unfold. But it basically came to this year of a following a cosmic alignment over 7 sacred sites in across Europe. We went through 5 countries and we ended up going to 11 or 12 sacred sites. And we
It's
learned
really about it's gathering people to join us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
not everyone could be with us, but they could be with us with their thoughts, prayers, and intentions. So we have been gathering people for 3 years in countries all over the world, and it keeps growing. And we want to keep that momentum. We have a Facebook page that combines Movement for Peace and Awakening the Magdalene, because we believe the divine feminine has a big role in it. And we believe that Mary Magdalene is one of the faces of the divine feminine that today's woman can really identify with. You know, she was a leader. She was the apostle to the apostles. And she was actually opening up Christianity to Europe, and possibly there's many other things that we're learning about her. So
and that when we started, we just wanted to invite the world to have a day of peace, to pray for peace on the same day and walk a labyrinth. We had 44 locations in 14 countries the first year. The second year we increased it. This year we had every single continent and several 100,000 people participating on the same day, reading the same prayer, making the same intention, and many people walking labyrinths, whoever could. And if they couldn't, we recommend like walking a labyrinth with your finger on a piece of paper, or with your eyes if you're not able. And we really feel like we made a shift this year, and that was on the day of the alignment of the cosmic, of the planets over the cathedrals, that we did that this year. So we just want people to continue to do this and know that with collective intention, we do make a difference, and humanity needs it and is receiving it, and so does our planet, and we can really make big changes when we do it together.
What beautiful work. I'm so excited. Thank you both for your generosity with your time. Can you tell my folks how they can find you on the internet?
Yep, we have on our Facebook page is Movement for Peace, Awakening the Magdalene. The tag is Peace Movement Awakening, and then our Facebook page is, our website is movementforpeace.net, like the net of energy around the world, .net. And then we both have our own websites, Jill Jordan Sound Living, and yours is
themagdaleneawakening.com.
Perfect. Okay. And if you want to RSVP for the evening workshop, which is 7 to 9 p.m. on October 11th here at Held, you can RSVP on the Facebook event, or just reach out to me. There are 1,000 ways to get in touch with me. Sunday, October 13th is the full day Magdalene and sound healing. And that will be from, I think, 10 to 4.
I think it's 9 to 3 or 10 to 3.
10 to 3, something like that. And that's a full day. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous here at Held. Same if you wish to come, you can RSVP on Facebook or get in touch with me directly. We'll take care of everything. And I am really excited. Thank you both so
Thanks,
Thank
Jess.
you.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
We're excited too.